Which is better, pickled or fermented? Heidi ho, Arkansas Pilgrim here again. Back in the kitchen, because I guess I'm a little scruffy looking, sorry about that, but you've seen me worse. I've got a small harvest of peperoncini peppers, and I love pickled peperoncini peppers, which is why I planted them and grew them in the first place. But I've been doing fermentation lately too, so why not go ahead and do a batch of both? All right, what I've done is I've taken equal weights of my peperoncini peppers and I've sliced them because I like to use the pickled peppers, or the fermented, I guess, on sandwiches as well as in salads. So it's a lot easier to have them in this form, more versatile. And the recipe I've got, I basically took a pickling recipe and converted it also into a fermentation recipe. And so both of them have a bay leaf and a peppercorn and a coriander seed and some garlic in the jar. And the solutions are made up of water, vinegar, a little bit of honey, a little bit of pickling salt. The pickling recipe has, is a 1/4 cup water and a 1/4 cup vinegar, white vinegar. The fermentation is 1/2 cup of water, which is the same amount of liquid, but then just a little bit more than a 1/2 teaspoon of unfiltered apple cider vinegar, because that'll give it, kind of helps give the fermentation a little boost. Now, I each have a 1/2 teaspoon of honey, and then there's about twice as much pickling salt in the fermentation as there is in the pickling. So what we just have to do is so now let's go ahead and fill these up. Actually, it looks like there's going to be more. Well, I'll be able to smash them in there hopefully. There was only about a pint to begin with. Well, I guess not. I thought they would use up more space. Well, maybe I'll just use some of these. These the seeds are turning a little brown pretty quickly, but that's just from, I don't know, that's being out in the air, having a metal knife touch them, I guess. They look fine when I was cutting them. Especially the fermentation ones, I've got to keep below, because it does bubbling pickling. It just kind of sits there, it doesn't bubble. So, yeah, that's going to be good enough. I'll use those for something else. Now, the pickling solution was brought to a boil. That's part of the instructions. And then to sort of help stuff dissolve, but I guess usually you like to have it as hot pickling solution, I guess. Here we go. It's almost filled up. Here we go. Okay, now I'm going to use, I think, another jar. You have to have a weight to push down to make sure everything's below the fermentation solution, the brine. And here I'm gonna cap this and may top it off a little bit, squeeze it in there, and I'm gonna let them sit, and both of them are gonna pickle and ferment. Now for fermenting, you have to have like a weight, and you can buy weights, but I usually just use another little kind of jar That's pressing them down and keeping everything below the brine line. And I put it on a plate because it'll probably spill over and you'll get a little bit from bubbling. And I'm going to cover this up so that you can't get gnats and things crawling into it. And then I'm going to go ahead and just put a plastic lid on this, and to avoid messes, I'll do the same for pickling. And trying to get that pressed and stay below. I think it's good for the. I'm going to go ahead and top this off as much as I can. Well, that's all the brine. Go ahead and put a plastic lid on this. Not tight, just slightly closed. Okay, I went ahead and added some more water and vinegar solution to this, just a little bit, just to make it where it will actually almost run over a little bit when I put that lid on, so that the peppers are completely immersed in the solution. And also, these need to be refrigerated immediately. I might have mentioned before about keeping them out a couple days and then refrigerating them, but that's not the case. I did some double checking on that. So these will be at room temperature and covered. These will be in the refrigerator, and we're going to let them both sit for 2 weeks. Then we'll come back and do a taste test. God bless y'all. See you next time.